Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor, and the Webtalk Legends Podcast host. This is number 19 on the year. We're trying to do one every single week, every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're interested in sharing your story, I want you to get in contact with me. We're all here to grow. We're all here to learn from our guests so that we can sit back, enjoy, take some notes, jot some ideas down, the strategies we talk about, and really listen to our guest. And I'm going to bring on a good friend of mine, Jason Wilk. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Shawn, how you doing? Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks for taking some time out of your day to drop some knowledge for us today.
Great. So yeah, when we spoke a little bit backstage, just want to say here a little bit about my story. I guess how I got into the mortgage industry. Just something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, this is all about sharing your story. So we can talk about how you started, trials and tribulations, maybe some things that happened in your past that really sucked, and what you've gone through. These are things that people need to hear about. Things what I've been talking about and thinking about is mental health is huge now. But there's a lot of variety that we can go down. I like being flexible and having a good conversation. Before we even get into it, I want you to give us an intro of who you are and what you do.
Oh, sure. My name is Jason Wilk. I work as a residential loan officer for Crown Home Mortgage, which I've been doing for the last 5 years. Myself and my wife have been married for 10 years now, and we are local. We live right in Woodridge in Bergen County. For those of you who know me, obviously I'm an avid outdoorsman. If you look at my t-shirt, I love fishing. I love skiing. I'm a longtime suffering Jets and Giants fan, so I pretty much enjoy life. And I guess, you want to hear a little bit about my story. I mean, I guess we'll start right at the beginning. I mean, when I was going through high school, I was brought up in the type of household where mom and dad always said to me, hey, get good grades. And, we just want you to focus on your grades. You focus on your education. They would even give me some very nice thank yous for getting those good grades, which I did. I would get all A's and B's, graduated sixth in my high school class. I went to college, actually got 2 degrees in college at one of the local universities. The honest reason I went is because that was something I was supposed to do. Since I was about 5 years old, I was told I'm going to friggin' college. So I did. Graduated with honors and a degree in computer science, believe it or not. And then I'm 22 years old, 23 years old. To be honest with you, I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do with my life. At all, to be honest with you. I mean, I was really good at getting A's and B's on tests, showing mom and dad this report card. Hey, look, here's my report card. Let's put it on the refrigerator there. But it took a little while for that to translate into work skills. I got into the banking industry. 5 years, I was a personal banker for some, big banks. Then I became a branch manager for another 5 years at, some other big banks. And then I was in my early to mid 30s. And to be honest with you, Shawn, I was bored out of my mind at my job. I mean, the banking industry isn't what it used to be. I mean, less people are coming into the branches. I mean, my motivation every day was not to get yelled at by central command as opposed to actually doing anything work-wise. So I was really in a little bit of rut there. So then about 5-6 years ago, they helped me decide, but I decided that, I no longer wanted to be in banking, and I decided to become a mortgage person. And I guess that, I'll let you chip in now, but I guess that's a story in itself.
Now, you said a lot, and we have a variety of people that I want to shout out. We have Jan, we have Scott Gerard, we have Charlene, William. You guys are awesome, all for, taking some time out and sharing and being with us. We have Hare, we have Joanna, Lorraine. Guys, if you haven't already, drop where you're watching from. So we will definitely shout you out. If you have a business, drop it in the comments. We always want to use this for networking. And if you haven't already, definitely check out and friend request Jason. So a lot of people go to college, and a lot of people, I'm a teacher, and I know teaching hasn't changed in years and years and years. It's the same thing, and they're always pushing college. And college is not always something that you should have to go to, especially today. You can be an entrepreneur, and as long as you have the hustle, the mindset, you could be successful. I mean, that's what I believe. What do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a 100%, true statement. Now, remember, I went 20 years ago, different environment, than it was today. I mean, I was always in the household where it was something I had to do, or it was something I had to do, let's just say. But yeah, I mean, it all depends on what you want to do. I mean, just going to school or get yourself in a couple $100,000 of student loan debt just to do it. I mean, that might not be the best idea. You might want to do something like you said, entrepreneurial, start your own business, get into the sales industry, something along those lines. But about, as I was saying, about 5-6 years ago, I got into got into mortgages, and I've used this term with you all the time. I call it the 2 years of pain, which actually took me 3 years. I mean, if you get into I work as a 100% commission salesperson, meaning the only way I get paid is I find people I can help with both purchasing homes, and back when rates were a little lower, I was doing this all the time, helping them refinance their existing mortgages. Meaning, if I don't help anyone in the course of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months close a mortgage, I don't get a paycheck in a mortgage. So in the industry that I'm in, I 100% have to produce, or I don't have any money. And that was a heck of a learning curve. It was something that really took me 2 to 3 years to get good at. I mean, it was, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, you grow up in an environment where, you go to school, you know exactly what you need to do to get a B. You work in a corporate job for, say, 10 years, you know exactly what to do not to get yourself fired. Or, if you hit X and Y and you know how to work the incentive plan the right way, get a nice little bonus every quarter, every year, something like that. But this was like literally a brand new thing where you had to teach yourself, you have to work. You have to do what you don't feel like doing. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail a lot right at the beginning. Let me be crystal clear about that one. And you have to be prepared. The first, this applies to whether you're a mortgage person, a real estate agent, financial advisor, insurance agent like yourself. I mean, any sort of those professions. What I always say, I mean, unless you have God-given talent and a gigantic natural market, neither of which I had, you better have either money saved up, a supportive spouse, or mom and dad love you a lot. If you don't have one of those combos, it's going to be very tough to make it in our industries.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have those ups and downs, and we're going through different changes happening, a shift, and you have to go with it. You have to make sure you're always making connections. You're always making and building relationships. And I had a bunch of people who were like, wow, we're going to talk about fish tonight. And I was like, we're going to talk about fishing. And I want to go into that because Jason works hard. And he doesn't have to put in tons of hours now. He worked hard in the past. He basically set and planted his seeds, and it's just blossoming now. But now he's allowed to, and not even allowed to, you're able to go fishing, go skiing, do things that you love whenever you want. And with fishing, can you talk about the goals you have with your fishing?
I love catching fish myself, but even on a different level, I love taking my buddies, people I like, family members, my wife. I love just putting them in an environment. We always fish off the shoreline where we're able to catch pretty large bass, bluefish, all the natural species that come along New Jersey. There are 2 times that I go. I mean, one is literally crack of dawn, where the sunrise now is 5:45 a.m. So you have to be on the beach at 5 a.m., which means you have to get up at 3:15 in the morning. Let's just say I don't have many volunteers to do that one. We do plan B, where what I did the other night with a buddy of mine, where, sunset is 8:15 p.m. So you get on the beach, I don't know, around 6 p.m. You fish all the way through night, from 6 to 9. And as the sun sets, everything decides to feed. And I hooked a good friend of mine up with, pretty nice bass. I'll send you some pictures, but it was like, 36 inches long, weighed about 15 pounds. He never fished before. And I just really had, because in the springtime, I do a lot of bait fishing where we get fresh baits, bunker, clams, worms, and we just fire it out in the right spot. I tell my buddy to sit in the chair here, hold the pole, and they catch pretty nice stuff.
That's fun, man. I always go fishing. I'm always casting. That's what I do. I love casting. I like throwing it out there. What are some of this, kind of tips that people need to utilize? Is it something about the lure? Is it something about fresh bait?
If you want to consistently catch stuff, I mean, I actually kept my numbers. I mean, this spring, I've been fishing since early April. I caught 39 bass, 14 keepers. The friends I've gone with, who I say, use my fishing gear, do this, do that, including my wife, they caught another 30 bass with another 9 keepers. it's distinct types of fishing depending on the type of year. In the springtime, I do predominantly bait fishing, meaning the fresh bunker, the fresh clams, the fresh blood and sandworms. The trick is you always got to make sure the baits are fresh. The joke I make, if you're not spending more money on the bait than most people do on food, you're not doing it the right way. You have to keep it on ice as if, you were going to eat it, and you just, throw the right presentation out, the right time, you just sit there and wait. Now, the summer and fall, that's a little different. That's where I walk the shoreline and I'll throw my artificials in the white water, catch all sorts of striped bass, the fluke, the bluefish, pretty much everything. But the trick is you'll get over 90% of the fish dawn, dusk, and at night. I mean, if it's high noon and the sun is out, you had breakfast, oh, let's fish. When the sun's baking on the water, you almost never catch anything. It's literally like a switch goes off where say sunrise is 6 a.m. on the dot. Getting there 8 in the morning, you missed the entire bite. It's done until dusk. I mean, if it's a 6 a.m. sunrise, you need to be on that beach at 5 a.m. and the hour from 5 to 6 a.m. is when you get almost everything. Sometimes, especially in the summer, as soon as that ball of sun goes over the horizon, that's it. The bite shuts off. It's not turning back on until the sun's about to set. So you got to fish dawn, dusk, and once again, not for everybody, but if high tide is midnight, for example, 10 p.m. to 2 in the morning is the best time, right around the high tides.
That's value right there. And it's funny, Joanna said that she likes fishing, but he also doesn't like putting the fiddler crabs on the fishing rod. So, yeah, I mean, there's things that you have to deal with that you're going to have to get used to if you want to fish consistently. Do you have
the fiddler crab? She's most likely going for blackfish, which are known as hot dog, and she sticks the fiddler crabs between the rocks and tries to catch her dinner that way.
There's some value right there, Joanna. Definitely use that tip. Fish by the rocks. Now, are you one that has a truck that has all these holsters that you put all your fishing rods on? How does that work?
I used to have it, but I kept forgetting I had the damn thing on the front of my truck. I literally crash into things all the time, and I completely smashed it. So yeah, I have an F-150. I do send it to the car wash about every 2 weeks, but I mean, literally, in between those 2 weeks, it's loaded with sand. I got my tackle boxes back there at all the time. If you look right here, my fishing poles are literally in my living room. There are 12 of them there. They literally sit there until from about April 1st all the way through Christmas. And then there's ski gear over there, because my true passions are, I work in the mortgage industry. I help people. That's how I make my money, do my living. But my true passions are the fishing, the skiing, the enjoying life, the being free, doing what I want to do, not living by anybody's rules. Sometimes the wifey's rules. That's about it.
I mean, we're all in relationships, and if you're not following and communicating, that's a key thing, I think, is the communication piece. Maybe it's something you want to do, and you get your wife out there fishing, right?
Well, my wife gets out there, man. I give her credit. I mean, when we do the crack of dawn things, she'll get up 3:15 in the morning with me. I mean, she'll be on the beach with me. If the fish are biting, she'll be in there, holding the pole and everything. For the husbands out there, if you really want to get a good reaction out of your wife, wake her up 3:15 in the morning and say with a straight face, "Why the hell don't you have any makeup on?" I mean, she'll react crazy. You gotta have your fun when you can.
No, you have to. It's important.
Exactly.
Getting up early, these are habits of successful people anyway. What are some things that you've been mentored by? Have mentors personally, or do you read a lot of books, podcasts?
I have a good buddy in the industry who taught me the industry, who I work with. He's actually the branch manager in the mortgage branch that I'm in. But the main thing I do every morning is I listen to a lot of YouTube, everything from Tony Robbins to Jordan Peterson, to Jim Rohn, to Eric Thomas, to just all the guys that have high energy and just literally blast my head with positivity. Because turn on the news, for example. 90% of the stuff you hear out there is negative. I tell my wife sometimes, shut the news off. It's depressing me. I don't feel like hearing that stuff,
Right.
So, I just keep, blasting my head with positivity over and over and over again, because I believe this one with all my heart. The universe will give you exactly what you focus on. If not the persona you give off, but in your heart and soul, do you believe you're a winner? Do you believe you're going to be successful? Do you believe you're going to be positive? I don't care if it's me catching a 40-pound bass, or me getting another client, or me losing 20 pounds. Have I made a decision in my mind that I am going to be successful and I'm going to do it? And everything you focus on, you 100% get. I mean, simple examples, we see in our lives. I mean, I've learned that people fall into predictable patterns, meaning if you notice the person who says, life is great, this is awesome, today's going to be an awesome day, they almost always have an awesome day, as opposed to the person that goes, yeah, this economy, it's really
Yeah.
tough. Yeah, money's really tight. Yeah, there's no opportunity. I could go on and on and on because they're giving off. Now, some of those things might be true, but by focusing on it, you're making it 1,000 times worse.
No, I agree. I mean, I like to say when someone says, "How you doing today?" I'm incredible. I'm fantastic. I want to give better adjectives than, "Oh, I'm just, getting through my day." I enjoy my life. I enjoy having fun. And when you're putting yourself out there and manifesting things, and I know we have a lot of Deanna's doing some manifestations. She's doing affirmations. These are important things that we're talking to ourselves to make ourselves better on a consistent basis.
I don't care if it's if all right. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think of the best way that I could possibly that I could possibly work with. If you're doing business, right? Are you the person you'd want to do business with? If you're looking for a referral partner, would you refer business to yourself? Do you actually do what you're going to say you're going to do? If you're single, looking for a boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, would you date you? I mean, it's everything, I mean, we are in control of our own reality 100% of the time. Everything awesome in my life, everything awesome in your life, you're 100% responsible for that. Everything not so awesome, I'm 100% responsible for that as well.
Yeah.
The reason I'm not 10 pounds lighter is I like eating wings and pizza. I mean, it's not science. There's a reason for it, is what I'm saying.
And it's something that you have to have the mindset. You have to have the focus on what you're looking to do. I mean, here's a question.
Yeah.
You've been successful in the mortgage business. You're able to go skiing, fishing, anything that you want to do on a daily basis. What are your goals in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now? Are you wanting to be a branch manager or things like that?
To be honest with you, absolutely not. My goal is my why. The reason I do everything. And this, you could imply my mortgage job in it. My why is I want to do what I love with whom I love whenever I so desire. I want a life full of freedom and happiness where I never have to worry about money. If gas goes up to $10 a gallon,
Who cares?
trust me, for somebody who drives as
Yeah.
much as I do, I fill up my F-150 6 to 8 times a month, okay? If it goes up to $10 a gallon, I'm still doing what I'm doing. I'd rather it be $3 a gallon, but I want to design my life in a way where stuff like that is nothing different than a minor inconvenience. So my freedom, doing what I want, not being controlled by anyone or anything, that is my why. That's my goal today, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. It honestly does not matter. My goal is my freedom and doing what I love with those I love.
Even though things are going to change, you're going to change with it. Like, look, you're on you're on my show, you're on a podcast. Other mortgage originators, other salespeople are not going on video. They're afraid of doing this. What got you involved? I know I asked you a couple times, but what got you involved to do this?
Number one, I like your energy. And number two, I figured, why the heck not? I mean, you're literally the only person I do this with. And honestly, I like, I like talking about the good things that have happened in my life. I like talking about the not so good things, but by me talking about it, it's a form of affirmation. It's a form of therapy. For example, you have Connection Machine, right? That Facebook thing. Do you notice I always comment something well thought out, a paragraph or two every morning? The reason I do that, it has me thinking first time. I try to say it very nicely because it puts my mind in a proper state. So as I'm getting ready for the gym, or as I'm already at that gym on the treadmill, I'm trying to answer a question that you said something where I can think deeply. By me answering that question already puts me in the proper mental mindset. So that's why I do it, for example.
People don't realize when they're on social media, it's all about, when they post, it's all about them. And that's the wrong attitude. You have to help others. You have to get them. And I appreciate every single time, because I'm posting, for example, the motivational stuff I do every morning. It's usually between 5 and 5:30 whenever I get up, and I'm always posting it. And yes, you are one that comments, and not just like, I like that, I agree. You give a well thought out answer to that. And that's people on Webtalk have to start doing that as well, because it helps with the algorithm and helps with engagement. It's not like, use me for a mortgage, use me for insurance, use me to buy this product or service. You want to make sure you're helping others first.
Correct. And something else, this will slightly change the subject, but as I said, I listen to a lot of the Tony Robbins, all the different motivational speakers in the morning, and I've taught myself a lot of human psychology, a lot of different things, because it allows me to deal more efficiently with people. So a trick I've learned: if you want to know where anybody is mentally, you just take a look at the last 10 posts they've done on Facebook. The pattern of those 10 posts will tell you exactly where that person is. Yes. Are they loving life? Are they not? Is money good? Is money tight? Do they love their significant other? Do they not? Are they like literally every little thing that's going on in their world? By studying the 10 posts of their last 10 posts, you can know it to the T. I mean, that's just something I found it's so spot on. It's crazy sometimes.
And people are afraid to share personal things too. And I'm like, why? You want to be a human being. That's why we're here. I mean, that's why I talked about with my daughter having a liver transplant. You know, is there anything like that in your past that you would like to share with us?
The answer is thankfully not. I mean, besides, the learning curve in business,
Mm-hmm.
I really did, dislike my banking career at the end. Thankfully there's nothing like really there that's just like.
No, that's good, because I bring that up because a lot of people, especially guys, don't like to talk about things that are going on inside. We have a mental health huge problem in the US. I know everyone's watching from all different countries. Guys don't like to talk about what's really bothering them. That's why I wanted to share that, because it's important to put it out there.
Okay, here's one that I no longer do. I haven't drank in the last 3 to 4 years. Okay. I never got a DWI. I never ran over my mother in the front yard. I never beat up my wife. None of those crazy stories, nothing bad like that. But when I was in my banking career, I'll be honest with you, I hated what I was doing. I was bored to tears. I was not suicidal, so we're not even going there, but I was not in a happy place. I did not look at myself with pride in the mirror. I remember looking at the TV. It was like the 4:25 wave of football games. I'd hear the song for the halftime show. I'd see the sun setting. I'm like, son of a bitch. I got to now sit in this bank bored out of my mind for the next 45 hours of my life, So what I did to cope, I drank way too much, because it was like a reward that wasn't a good thing, and when I got into the mortgage industry, made a decision to stop because, in our industry, you don't work a 40-hour week, a lot of time. You don't know when, say you work 25 hours a week, those 25 hours could be like 8:00 on a Friday or a Sunday afternoon. You don't want a client calling you where you're incoherent, as silly as that sounds. That's important, so that's one negative thing I used to do that I no longer do. Thankfully everything's great with my parents. I'm great with my family, great relationship with my wife. We've been together for over a decade. She's one of my best buddies in the world. We fish together, ski together, enjoy life together. She makes believe she cares when the Giants are going to go 0-3 again in September. I mean, she's the greatest wife in the world.
What gets you through? I'm a Giant fan myself, and those that are watching, I know American football is different than soccer. They call football soccer in other countries, but football, I'm a Giant fan. How do you deal with it, man? I had trouble in the last couple of years. How are you dealing? Without drinking.
Yeah, right. I did break a couch a few seasons ago, but anyway, the way I'm a Giants fan, number one. Jets are actually a very close number two. They're a 1A. I have a love of the game where if it wasn't for the Jets and Giants, I actually love college ball more than the NFL. And with the Jets and Giants doing crappy for the last decade, I mean, it's taken something away from the joy of the game, because there's no greater high that I get as a sports fan that when the Giants or the Jets are in a playoff race, you get to bust chops with your buddies. You know what I say about the Giants? I just want them to win a damn game in September this year. I just want to tear past Columbus Day. Not an 0-5 start, not a here we go again, not it's Halloween and all right, are they going to get the number one draft pick? How about here? Ready? How about you're 8-8 going into the last game of the season where if you win, you get a wild card spot? How about during week 13 where it says on the right corner in the hunt, you see the team's logo in the hunt? I mean, we're shooting real low here.
It is something that It's tough. And for those that are into watching any sports, if your team is not doing well, how do you guys stay with it? Drop that in the comments. I would love to see what you guys are, doing.
I was born in 81. What about you?
I was born in 76.
So, okay. When we were kids, do you remember? Because specifically the Jets were terrible when we were kids in the 80s and early 90s. Remember before NFL Sunday Ticket, they'd usually play at 1 o'clock and they'd be losing like 41-3 to the friggin' Buffalo Bills with Jim Kelly and that entire crew. And that's the only game we could watch. I mean, we're so lucky now. So how do I deal with it? I have NFL Sunday Ticket and I literally have I have the Giants on the backup TV, you know what I'm saying? And I watch the good game on the primary TV. That's how I deal.
Yeah. Is it with DirecTV? Who has it goes right into like whoever's like the hot hand. There's something going on.
Well, it's DirecTV. But I live in a complex where Verizon and Optimum are my only two choices. So I have Verizon and they say, hey, look, if you're not eligible for DirecTV, you can just pay for the package and you can get it through the internet, which is what I do.
Because I agree. You just flip the channel, find something else to watch, put on diners, drive-ins, and dives, put on some TLC, whatever. There's always I like watching Netflix too, selling Sunset. You watch these people sell these multi-million-dollar homes. It's like, how the hell they spend this kind of money to market them? It's amazing to me.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not into that stuff. I mean, my wife, she's a big fan of the Real Housewives of Anywhere and stuff like that. So I get to watch some of that. I mean, I'll be watching some of those shows. I'm like, sweetheart, I kind of appreciate you a little more.
Yeah, no, you have to have some kind of downtime. You have to get some kind of hobbies. You have to make sure you love your job. A lot of people just every day they just go through the motions, and I don't know how they can continue doing that.
There's a statistic out there. I believe 75% of the people out there have hooked up to a lie detector test actually hate what they do. And honestly, that was me 5 years ago. I hated my job. I was miserable. I mean, it took a toll on me, mentally, because think about this. When we were in high school, when we were grown up, we were always special. Mom and dad said we were the best. They tell us in high school, man, you could do whatever you want. Look at your dreams. You could do all that stuff. And then after sitting in a bank for 10 years, bored out of your mind, that kind of dies in you. So, I mean, if you could think like now as adults, like we did when we were kids, like you could achieve anything and actually believe it. It's amazing what you could achieve.
I appreciate you saying that because if you're listening, guys, Jason 5 years ago was hating his job, hating it. And now look at the energy that you have.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's an understatement, by the way. Yeah. So they would just say I hate it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that a lot of people think, oh, I'm at a certain age or I'm at a certain position in my life. You can make and become successful 45, 55, 65. There's people that are CEOs for companies that didn't make it until later because it just takes time. We are all worried about now.
And this is real important. Define now. I'm not asking you. I'm asking out loud.
Yeah.
Define success. My definition of success might be, I was making a joke in one of your posts. I mean, if you said to me, you know what, I'm going to show you how to work 60 hours a week, and if you work 60 hours a week, you'll make $400,000 a year, and you can have anything you want. I'd say hell no to you. If you said to me, how do you make a good income? Here's how you can make a good income, but you're free to, in my case, fish, ski, enjoy life, love what I do, not be controlled by anyone or anything. That motivates me. So it depends on what your definition of success is. Mine, for example, it's freedom and simply having that little extra money to do the things that I enjoy doing. Money does not motivate me at all. The stuff that I could do with money motivates me.
Yeah, because if you can become debt free, maybe you own a home, you have your cars maybe paid off, you can do whatever you want. You can go out to dinner when you want. You don't have to be penny pinching. You can have a life, and that's I do the same thing with my girls. A lot of people will come over dropping off like nice toys for them. I'm like, listen, I want them to have experiences. I want them to do things. I don't want just the materialistic things. It's not the way for me. I think.
Well, I'm the same thing. I mean, I like some people are into jewelry. Some people are in expensive cars. Here's the jewelry I wear. You know what I'm saying? That's just not my thing. I mean, I wouldn't spend $100,000 on a car. for example, I mean, I'd spend $5,000 on a trip to the Outer Banks where I go fishing every single day, chasing redfish and whatever the hell else is out there. It all depends on what's important to you.
Yeah, you got to find a passion. You got to make sure you are consistently doing whatever it is, and it's consistently making phone calls, prospecting, doing social media marketing, doing video, whatever it is, and you continue, and you'll get better at it the longer you do it. Jay, dude, this time flew. I appreciate you dropping some massive value. I know everyone that's been watching learned some things from you, from our conversation. We're going to make sure that if you had and haven't connected with Jason, please do on Webtalk. I have all in the description. Any way to get in contact with him if you're looking to buy a property, refinance, which is probably difficult right now,
Yes.
but purchase a property, give him a call. Tell him Shawn recommended. You saw him on a podcast. He'd be happy to talk to you about fishing, skiing, mortgages, life. He's a great guy. Definitely connect with him.
Thank you very much, Son. I appreciate you having me.
You got it, man. Guys, I hope that everyone has an awesome rest of the day wherever you are in this world. Have an awesome day, guys.